Okay, here we go. Welcome back to some more Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition. Hope you all are doing well, having a great day, and a great week so far. Just at the start of it. So, as you can see, Mel Shepard, Infiltrator, Paragon, romanced Ashley in the first one, romanced Miranda in the second one. We'll see what happens in this one. Violence warning, you can see the heads explode with headshots, especially with the sniper rifle, and also seizure warning, lights. So as you can see, we are here where we left off. We cured a genophage. Morden sacrificed himself. Like I said, that scene still gets me. And I'm just going to go through the Normandy, so we'll see how it goes. First off, we can talk to Hackett.
Commander Shepard, something you need to talk about?
What's our state of readiness, Admiral?
I won't lie, Shepard. We're bogged down. Things aren't looking good in most sectors. We need to increase the tempo and chalk up some wins, otherwise this won't end well for the human race. Or any race.
What about the extra help we picked up along the way?
The Krogan and Turians have obviously been a big help. Urdnot Rex running the show is a bonus for us. And that female Krogan you rescued is rallying more support from the other clans. I'm glad you disabled that mom in Tuchanka. We could have lost a lot of Krogan support as it is. We picked up some Turian troops.
Good to hear. How about the Solarians?
Interesting wrinkle. We've been getting back channel commitments from the strike teams within STG. They're promising to back us.
Even after I cured the genophage?
Our intel suggests there are cracks developing between the military and the politicians. These STG guys know the score. They're not going to jeopardize the entire Solarian Union just because some Delatras didn't get her way.
I like that. So this would be different if the Rachni is not the queen that you saved from, if you didn't say the queen on Noveria.
What about the Rachni?
I wouldn't have believed it, but the Rachni are helping us build the Crucible.
You're kidding.
Turns out they have a knack for weapons of mass destruction. In hindsight, I guess they'd know a thing or two about waging a galactic war.
No problems with them then?
Other than scaring the hell out of our engineers, no. Not a lot of small talk going on there.
See, like there we've asked any trouble. It's been a while. I don't remember exactly, but I think that's where he says that some of them have like turned on you or something. Also, I made a I was wrong. It's not the doctor in Averia in that one note at Liara's office. It's another one.
What about Arya's mercenaries?
Arya Talok, there's someone I never thought we'd be in bed with. The blood pack will be useful. And violent. Mostly Vorcha, I hear. We'll put the Blue Suns to good use. Intel says Narner Vosk is bringing his men, and that they're gunning for a fight. The Eclipse are providing troops and mechs. When we find a Reaper soft spot, they'll help us hit it. Don't want to know how you got Arya's cooperation, but whatever you did, it was worth it.
Do you know how the other races are doing against the Reapers?
Believe it or not, the Turians and Krogan actually seem to be getting along. Urdnot Rex has deployed troops, and they're giving the Reapers a moment of pause. The Solarians are still hanging on to Sirkesh, but the Reapers are starting to breathe down their necks too.
What about the Asari?
They have to be feeling the heat. The Reapers are moving fast with the obvious intent of taking Thessia. Interestingly, the Reapers are leaving Parnak alone. It's the Yogg homeworld.
Can't say that I blame them. Yogg have teeth.
Well, if we lose this war, it might be them running the next cycle. It's easy to forget the Reapers don't destroy every species.
Just the ones who can threaten them. Any word on the Volus and Elcor?
The Turians and the Krogan sent forces to the Volus homeworld, Irun. It might not be enough, but at least they've got Reaper forces bogged down in a nasty ground war. As for Elcor, they're still in the fight, though our projections show the Reapers encroaching on their territory soon.
What happened to the Batarians?
Never stood a chance, hit by the Reapers straight out of the gate. And without any allies to call on, I think the Batarians are history.
Have we heard anything from the Quarians or Geth?
Something might be brewing near the Geth border, but our intel is sketchy. News is getting harder to come by as things get worse.
Okay, that's it.
Nothing more, sir.
Keep me posted. Hack it out.
And we can see our war assets. But if you haven't yet, remember to subscribe, enable notifications, that bell button so you know when I post. Hit a like, let me know that you like the videos, and then you can always leave me a comment. Tell me what you think of the game. So we've got Alliance. Okay, 5th Fleet. The Krogan power grids are supplying energy to Purgatory, allowing the club to operate as usual, improving the morale of soldiers on shorely. Interesting. That's the one for that power grid that we did. And that's it. Look at the Krogans. Look at their might. Okay, there's not Rex. You can just read about the Krogan clans. There's Clan Erdnot and Krogan mercenaries. And then the Turians as well. Once again, you can just read that. So the 7th Fleet, recovering the legendary banner of the 1st Regiment, lifted the spirits of overworked Turian forces. But we've done that already. I just think we got this with the completing the quests. And then Turian Engineer Corps. Now, as you probably gathered through the story, if you'd watched it with me, then you do realize that Malin's research actually does play a big part. So if you don't save that, Eve actually dies. And something that's really interesting for me is, I don't know if they put it in or if the actress, the voice actress, actually did it, but there's 2 lines more or less recorded for everything. If you didn't save the data and she's busy dying and not recovering from a lot of her lines has got coughs and strained voice in it. Actually, that is kind of insane for me that they did that. And also, there is one way to save Morden, but unfortunately it's not worth it, because I'm not sure if Rex has to be alive or dead, and it has to be Reeve. But you have to not save the data. Eve has to die, and then if Rex can be alive, and then the other thing is you must not reveal the sabotage that the Dilatras asked you for. Then you can, at the end there, like with a renegade prompt that you pull the trigger, you can convince Morden to leave. So then he runs away and goes into hiding, so he doesn't come to the Normandy anyways. And then the other thing is if Rex is alive, like I said, I'm not 100% sure if he has to be alive or not, but if he is alive and you sabotage the genophage, then he anyways finds out and you have to kill him later in the game. So you have to choose between either saving Morden or Rex. But like I said, there is one way you can save him if you really want.
Bethany, you see the vids of the Maw taking down the Reaper? Man, I wish I could have been there.
I'm just glad the diplomats are off the ship. A Krogan and a Turian in the same room is a fight waiting to happen.
Commander, Admiral Hackett has requested your help with a Cerberus fighter base on Novaria.
So if you want, you can do this before going back to the Citadel, but I'm going back to the Citadel first.
The Turians have given us top-level access to their combat data. Their ships are already moving in to help the Alliance fleet. You actually secured a Krogan-Turian alliance. It's one thing to hear about Commander Shepard. It's another to see him in action. Commander? Unread messages at your private terminal, Commander.
I'll get to it. This part is really funny.
All right, my turn. What's the first order an Alliance commander gives at the start of combat?
I give up.
Correct.
All right, big guy. What do you call it when a Turian gets killed by a horrible spiky monster?
Friendly fire. Come on, that one goes back to Shang-Chi.
You gotta respect the classics.
How many humans does it take to activate a dormant mass relay?
602. 600 to vote on it, 1 to ask the Asari for technical help, and 1 to request a seat on the council afterward. How do you know when a Turian's out of ammo?
He switches to the stick up his ass as a backup weapon. Why does the Alliance hire pilots with brittle bone disease?
You're shitting me. The Turian military has one about me?
Oh, absolutely. I heard it myself from a private back on Palaven.
All right, why does the Alliance hire pilots with brittle bone disease?
So their Marines can beat someone in hand-to-hand drills.
Damn, you need to tell James that one. Hey, what's the hardest part about treating a Turian who took a rocket to one side of his face?
Figuring out which side took the rocket.
Man, they're going hard. But it is hilarious that I actually have got one about Joker. And it is a mean one. Just see Edie isn't here after this. You can either talk to Garrus or Joker.
Never thought I'd see the Krogan and the Turians team up. Even the Reapers have to be a little nervous about pissing them off.
I'd say more than a little.
I'm sorry about Morden.
Once again, he got the job done. These Renegade ones are ridiculous.
He was a good man.
Yeah, he was always running those tests. And one time he tagged me in the middle of the night to ask how many livers humans had. And this bump on my elbow? He said it was just a mild bone deformation, but I'm pretty sure he stuck a probe in there.
Glad it was just your elbow.
I always thought he was crazy. Useful, but crazy. Then he gives up his own life.
To save the Krogan. Doesn't do much to disprove the crazy theory, huh?
I guess not. But he was one of ours.
So now that we got the Krogan and the Turians, what now?
The Krogan help us turn the tide on Palaven. They can shoot at something useful for a change.
Dig till we hit daylight, huh? Works for me.
So how does it feel knowing Krogan will be singing songs about you until the end of time? I think it would be an honor.
There's enough misery in this universe. It's nice to see something go right for a change.
Can't say I've ever really witnessed history in the making like this. Well, except for Sovereign attacking the Citadel, and then there was the Collector base, but this one felt good. And let's hope Rex keeps running the show on Tuchanka. Maybe we should hire a food taster for him. Imagine the carnage if someone like that brother of his, Reeve, took over.
It could happen.
I know, it's a chance we have to take, but I have to say, if it wasn't my own world that needed the help, I might have taken that Solarian deal.
I was never tempted.
I could never bring myself to do that, no matter what I was offered.
I admire your restraint, Shepard. It's nice when we can save the galaxy without destroying another race along the way.
Let's hope our luck holds.
And I don't have to imagine Reeve, I've experienced him. But hire a food taster. So you can talk to them.
Commander?
Okay, he's got nothing to say.
Commander?
I wonder where all the Krogan will live now. I've never seen what you'd call a house on Tuchanka.
We saw some buildings over there. I think he just says the same thing again.
I wonder where all the Krogan will live now. I've never seen what you'd call a house on Tuchanka.
Okay, let's go see what we've got in messages. Okay, so yeah, you can just read, but this is Pharos, and actually how they're fighting as a group because of the Foreign spores influences and stuff. And then there's Shihala. So this message is kind of the same as the previous one. It's just her personally, but telling you about how they're fighting together. Now, I'm going to cut and paste here again, but this is the reason why I killed Romania, or whatever her name was, the one that you experienced in the first one, right in Saren's base, where you can choose to kill her, and I chose to kill her, or spare her, but I didn't spare her. Now, you do run into her in Mass Effect 2 again, if you, on where you rescue Grunt, but there you don't get the chance to kill her. So as you see here, this is what you get when she is alive. So for me, it's just not worth it. So I decided to kill her.
Don't shoot! Please, I just want to get out of here before it's too late.
You conducted brutal experiments on helpless test subjects. You helped Saren. You don't get to live.
I just did what I was told. I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry.
Sorry doesn't help your victims.
No! No!
Okay, impressive work. This is just from General Corinthus. Commander Shepard, when you first arrived on Manay, I had a hard time seeing how you flying off with one of our best generals would benefit our fight against the Reapers. However, as I now watch Turian and Krogan fighters working together to take down a Reaper destroyer, I must admit I am impressed. You've broken an alliance that many thought impossible. Taliban might be saved after all. With great respect, General Corinthus. Look at this one from Rex. Making babies. Shepard, making babies again will be fun. Soon as the war is over, let's just say I'll do my part to build our numbers back up. Oh no, Rex. You really came through for us. I'm proud to call you my friend. Evie's in the Kalvik Valley, enlisting support from other clans and spreading the word. She's going to be a great leader. Most of the males won't like me sharing power with her, but too bad. I run the show. We're off to save the Turians now, since apparently they forgot how to hold a gun. And then Dalitras. This one, once again, I don't like. But you can just read there. The thing that really irritates me about her is, like I said, their lifespan is 40 years. This has been 1,400 years ago. She has... It's just because of what her parents told her. That's kind of ridiculous for me. But I'm ashamed to also learn that our own scientist sacrificed his life carrying out your orders. It's a dark day not only for my people, but all of galactic civilization. Like I say, she really annoys me. And as you see, there's Zeus Hope Colonist war assets.
Just one more diagnostic suite.
I don't think he's got a lot to say because he wasn't really involved.
Sir.
He didn't even drop you off. Oh, he did drop you off there at the start.
Good done.
You think that cure they dispersed could do anything to us? We're not going to start growing scales or anything, right? Maybe now that we have the Krogan on board, we can go back to fighting the Reapers. I was looking at the specs on that Reaper you took out on Tuchanka. That was one of the small ones? Don't get me wrong, it's still dead, but damn. There was nothing small about it.
This once again doesn't make sense to me, because on on that moon of Palaven, when you're with Garrus, he says like, at one stage, he says like that's one of the small ones. He saw larger ones on Earth. So like I says, that doesn't quite make sense to me.
Do you hear that hum? Is that just me?
Gavi, have you ever seen recordings of Liara's mother, Matriarch Benesia?
Yes? What about her?
And remember Samara, the Asari Justica?
Where are you going with this, Kenneth?
Have you noticed that older Asari women seem to be a bit more ample? Do you think they just keep growing?
Kenneth!
I think I'll spend my sunset days in an Asari retirement home.
If I don't kill you first.
I'm with her.
Nothing to report.
Shepard?
And he's still on the pipe.
Did you find a thermal pipe on your last trip to the Citadel?
Oh, and with Diana, it's a whole thing at the moment.
Genophage cure, huh? This beats the hell out of reporting on the Milgram City Council.
I don't think I've heard of Milgram. Which planet is that again?
Beckenstein. It's right next door to the Citadel. I'm a colony kid.
Beckenstein is where we did the quest for Kasumi in the second Mass Effect, her loyalty mission. Where we were Mr. Gunn.
Commander, got a minute?
What do you want to know?
You've just implemented a cure for the genophage. Millions of Krogan will start fighting the Reapers. What do you say to people who think humanity is starting another Rachni War and Krogan rebellions?
They need us too. So once again, let's win the war first. But once again, why would you want to choose that one if you can choose one of these?
It's easy to remember the worst of Krogan history, but you also need to remember the best.
Meaning?
The Krogan were heroes once, and they want to be heroes again. We're giving them that chance.
Are you aware that Clan Urdnot is already petitioning the Council for an embassy and rights to a colony world?
The Krogan are coming to the aid of a Council homeworld. That's more than a lot of species can say. I helped them get the genophage cure. Anything more is between the Council and the Krogan.
There it is, straight from Commander Shepard. Until tomorrow, this is Diana Allers. Good night and stay strong. Okay, I'll cut that together with the rest of the segment and send it to Command for approval.
And there we got some Krogan clan support as well.
Commander.
Okay. Now I like that end there, it's like, but first of all, like your middle choice there is like just like the interview's over. But I like where he's like, I helped cure the genophage. The rest is between the Krogan and the Council. They can sort it out. So if you see her on the map, there's Edie actually in the AI core again. And remember, we already saw Garrus. So you can see if she's got something to say.
Nothing to report.
Apparently not.
What are you up to now?
I am uploading data on the destroyed Reaper to the Turians. They are investigating possible Reaper structural weakness. Our data says Reaper capital ships such as Sovereign are of unique design. However, smaller Reaper destroyers bear similarities.
That one was small?
Relatively, yes. Ground attack ships are only 160 meters in height. Sovereign was approximately 2 kilometers.
Well, keep talking to the Tyrians. If there's a chink in the Reaper's armor, we all need to know it.
That's cool, but once again, Shepard knows the Reapers almost better than anyone. He knows what Sovereign looks like and what Harbinger looks like. He knows the difference between capital ships and the normal, like that one on Tuchanka.
Hello, Shepard.
But 2 kilometers. Damn.
Any sign of life?
The Reaper destroyed by the Thresher Maw appears to be completely inert, Doctor. We would need to send in teams to be sure.
Out of the question. Tell the Krogan to stay away.
You think the Krogan's gonna listen to you?
The genophage cured. The Krogan have no reason to hold back now, do they? Rex knows what he's doing, but can he keep the Krogan in check? Or will this be the start of another Krogan empire? Eve's organizing the female Krogan. She reminds me of some of the more formidable matriarchs I've known. The Krogan won't let themselves fall by the wayside again. Not like they did after the rebellions. We'll have to get used to them having a bigger part in the galaxy. I hope the Krogan live up to their ancient legacy, and for the better.
She's got a lot to say.
Thanks for coming by.
And then just mass relay traffic reports. Shang-Chi, Theta unavailable. Charon unavailable. So it's not looking good.
At your service.
And remember to go feed the fish. Oh, by the way, Morden Solus, right above Shepard's head. No dead fish here yet. Space hamster. Okay, so you can... I say this, you can look around. So there's the Cerberus fighter base. Like, I don't think there's anything to scan in there. I think that's one new system. I think that one. But as you see, there's 1 or 2 places you can go scan if you really want. But I am going to try and make this one video and have it up the same time as where I go back to the Citadel. I'm going to make that a separate video because this one was just running around and talking on the Normandy. So that's what I'm going to try and do. So be well, have a great day, hope you enjoy, and hope you enjoy the next video. That's, like I say, hopefully up the same time as this. And see you in the next video.